Good morning. Happy Friday. Cheers. I got my kitty cat mug. I bought this mug years ago from Crate and Barrel, and at the very bottom on the inside, you guys can't see it. There's a mouse. Can you guys see that? Thank you. A mouse at the bottom of my cup. So, how is everyone today? Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm pretty psyched because I'm heading to Disneyland next week. So no, I won't be here live. I may run a past live though. And I do have a masterclass that's going to be running next week as well. I might be able to run that live. So I will have something, but unfortunately it won't be me live next week because I'm going to be like on Space Mountain and walking around and having fun with my little, with my lollipop and whatnot. So, okay. So a couple announcements first, and then I want to dive into a topic that's driving me nuts. Right? Happy Women's Day. Well, happy Women's Day to you too. Thank you. Hello, Naya. Hello over there. So, first of all, I have a free masterclass that's going to be running next week from Tuesday through Sunday. We talk a lot about conventional medicine approach versus naturopathic medicine approach, preventative medicine versus proactive medicine. A lot of what's going on with the recalls right now. You will see that starts. It'll come through the email. I'll advertise it. I'll also be posting stuff here on social media, but it's a free masterclass that all of you can join. There'll be a link in my bio as soon as it's available, and it's for a limited time. I think it's 5 days or so. So definitely make sure you watch that. Okay? Deal? I'm excited for it. Okay. So now I told you guys, I promised you all last week that we would talk about poop today, right? Who was here? So for those of you that weren't here, you're like, oh no, man, she's going to talk about poop. I am, because here's what I don't understand. And I learned this in medical school. And I even, like, to the defense of medicine, this morning, I went to look up the definition again because I was like, you know what? Maybe they've changed it. Maybe it's not what it used to be. It's exactly the same. Okay. Constipation is considered you have to have 2 of like 6 criteria, one of them being less than 3 bowel movements a week. Now that means that 4 days out of the week, if you don't go to the bathroom, that's okay. So let me ask you this. If you went to the bathroom and you didn't flush the toilet for 3 days, what would it smell like? Right? Like, we have to remove the toxin from the body every day. What if your infant didn't poop for 3 days? Moms? Dads? Like, seriously, what if your infant didn't poop for 3 days? You would freak out, but it's normal? I don't understand. No wonder we're sick. So we eat this stuff, we remove the material that we're not supposed to absorb, and we eliminate it. So if we don't eliminate it, where is it going? It's sitting in our intestine, getting bloated and inflamed, and impacting our cells, and not to mention also impacting our future absorption of nutrients, right? So why is this happening? Why are we also constipated? Anyone out there want to say, I am? I hear you, Dr. P. I'm with you. Give me a thumbs up. I'm a constipated. I don't go to the bathroom every day. Anyone? I'll share. From the time I was little through late 20s, I might have had a bowel movement once a week, maybe. And nobody said anything. Yet I complained of stomach ache all the time and I didn't want to eat, right? And everyone was like, why aren't you eating? Why aren't you eating? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't want to, I don't want to eat. I didn't feel good, right? You don't always know what that is. No, I don't even think my doctors, honestly, I don't believe my doctors, my pediatrician, my doctors, when I went in for acne in my 20s, which I had never had as a teen, and I had acne all over my face, not a single person asked me if I was going to the bathroom. Not one. Well, guess what happened when I fixed that? My skin cleared up. My stomach aches went away. I started to feel better, lighter. I fit in my pants better. I lost 10 pounds when I started going to the bathroom regularly. Do I need to repeat that? 10 pounds. We hold like pounds of poop in us every single day, right? So we have to remove it. It's one of our number one detoxification pathways. We detoxify through the skin. We detoxify through bowel movements. We have to go to the bathroom. So these are all, I even double checked this definition, all from like, I went to like the websites of GI doctors. This is from the Journal of Gastroenterology, and they're writing all the stuff. The criteria, which is absolutely ridiculous, is must have 2 or more of the following to be considered constipated. You have to have 2. Straining during defecation, lumpy or hard stools, sensation of incomplete evacuation, sensation of blockage, having to manually remove it, and where's the timing? Oh, that timing's not on the one I'm looking. Yeah, fewer than 3 defecations per week. You have to have 2 of those to be considered constipated. That means that nobody will treat it until you have 2 of those. Well, I'll tell you what, some people don't go to the bathroom, but they're not necessarily hard and lumpy. They just don't go to the bathroom, right? And then you wonder, well, why am I holding on to this weight? Why do I feel so tired? I mean, if I put something stinky in the garbage and I didn't take it out, my house would smell, it would cause problems, right? It's the same thing. Like if we are holding that toxin in our body, we are not going to feel well. And I don't think that's something that people argue with, right? Like toxins are not good. How do we remove toxins on a daily basis? We go to the bathroom. So then the question is, well, gee, Dr. Pingle, what the heck do I do about it? So I'm reading all these, and I want to mention these comments before I tell you what to do about it, because I see a lot of you joining in, right? And saying, yeah, this is me, totally, right? I think I'll pop some corn for this one. Yeah. But corn is not so good for the digestion either. Maybe we'll pop something else. That is horrid. It's one of our most important detoxification pathways. Richard's raising his hand. I see that. Back here we have, hi, Amanda. How are you, honey? Good to see you. I've been chronically constipated my whole life, says Jacqueline. Right? It's awful. Tara, I'm constipating. Currently, it's been over a week. Amanda says it was all my life. I had appointments until I had appointments with you, Dr. Pingle. Aw, thanks. So we're good. We're not constipated anymore. All right. I went to the doc for GI issues and they prescribed me antidepressants, right? Which, by the way, will make you more constipated. Isn't that fun? Right? Medications can make you constipated, right? Thank you. Honestly, the first thing I do with my clients, if any of you clients are out there, the first thing I ask is, how often do you poop? Right? It's always in the first office visit. And if someone says, I'm not going every day, I say, okay, well, that's our first step. I can't do anything else until I know you're removing toxin, because I could shove a whole ton of supplements in there. We could just put supplement after supplement, but are you going to truly absorb it and utilize it to its best potential if you're not eliminating toxins? No, because the body's going to be stressed out by not pooping. So we talk all the time, right, about adrenal fatigue and stress, adrenal dysfunction, and how stress causes disease. I can't think of much that's more stressful on the body than it not being able to do its job and remove something that's potentially harmful, right? So the body does not like when it doesn't go to the bathroom at all. And so we have to start with that. And that's the first thing we start with. You got to make sure the outputs, the inputs and the outputs are working. Otherwise, you're wasting your money, right? So what do we do about it? Now, I know some of you will say, magnesium didn't work for me. Magnesium didn't work for me. I'm going to tell you, magnesium will work. If it didn't work for you, it's not being used correctly. Now, that may not be your fault. Maybe the instructions were not accurate. Maybe you have some gallbladder or digestive issues that need to be addressed at the exact same time. Maybe there needs to be support to the adrenal glands at the same time. Sometimes there's little tweaks to the protocols, right? Because the body either isn't absorbing it, right? Or it's not utilizing it in the way it needs to. But if you're absorbing magnesium, particularly magnesium glycinate is the one I find does the best. Magnesium or magnesium bisglycinate. And by the way, I do carry it on my website, Total Health Apothecary, magnesium bisglycinate. It's in a powder. It tastes awesome. For any of you guys worried about the flavor, it tastes freaking awesome. Put it in your water bottle. And here's why I love the powder of magnesium, because it makes you drink your water, because water is part of the protocol as well. So you have to be drinking enough water to go to the bathroom. So how does this work? Okay. So we bring water from the body into the colon to expel the stool. Okay. And the actual gut is a muscle and it has to move the stool through the muscle. Okay. So when we look at constipation, we have to look at it in a couple different ways. Is it coming from the problem with the peristalsis, with the movement of the gut? Have you used laxatives in the past and maybe that's not as strong as it used to be? Do we need to go in and do something more there? For me personally, and I mean, we're being vulnerable, right? For me personally, I had to do about 10 colonics in order to get the movement of my intestine to kick back in because I was so chronically constipated my entire life that my muscles stopped working. So I had to basically go in there and clean them out completely, start giving them the nutrients and magnesium, vitamin C, liver support, water, right? Stress reduction. I also started doing exercises for constipation as far as pelvic floor exercises, stomach massage. I mean, I went full out to get this kicking back in. And when it kicked back in, all of my symptoms, I mean, I no longer had acne. I had better energy. I lost weight. I looked good. I felt good. I wanted to eat again. I wanted to eat nutritious foods again. I absorbed the supplements I was taking. We have to look at the function of the gut. So the magnesium can help initiate that peristalsis a little bit. If you take vitamin C with it, vitamin C helps pull water into the intestine. Here's the thing. If you're constipated and you're also dehydrated, we're not going to get anywhere. So if I'm going to say, okay, take vitamin C to pull water from the body, you have to add more water to the body. Does that recommend? Which zinc, I don't necessarily recommend zinc for constipation, but magnesium, yes. That's what we're talking about. Erin over here says the magnesium powder tastes awesome. I use it at night as a hot tea. It's so relaxing and calming and works in the AM. I highly recommend it. Thank you, hon. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Thank you. And it does. It tastes great. Right? Thanks for trying it, Erin. While we're on supplements, if you guys go to my link in bio, I just put up a pooping bundle. Okay. And it's my magnesium powder, my vitamin C, and a probiotic. And if you buy it, I will send you the protocol for how to use it for constipation. Okay. I still have that tech issue where it's not going to come to you as soon as you buy it, but it's going to tag you and I'll send you an email, okay, with the information. Or worst case, I'll print it out and put it in the box. But one of the two, you will get it, okay? I promise you, you will get it. So that way, when you get the supplements, you can kind of see how to titrate them and how to use them. I've had a lot of people say, well, I put magnesium in Dr. Pingle, but it's not working. And I ask, well, how many are you taking? And they're like 2. I'm like, well, yeah, you got to go up. You got to keep going up. I have some people that have to get up to 10 in order to go to the bathroom. But here's the thing. Once the magnesium levels regulate, the amount you need goes down. So there is a titrating process. There's a way to titrate it to bowel tolerance in combination with vitamin C and water. Now, disclaimer, always talk to your physician before you start any supplement protocol. What I'm sending you is information that is educational on what it means to use supplements to bowel tolerance and a typical starting protocol to discuss with your doctor. Okay. But I will send it to you. Okay. So if you want the pooping bundle, it's 10% off. Pop over to my link in bio, purchase it now. And let's get you moving, because anything else we do, anything else you do, it's not going to work if you're not going to the bathroom. Erin, do you want to share how much, didn't you lose weight and bloating when you started taking magnesium? I think you also had an additional bonus to that. Not only are you going every day and it tastes good, you had some pretty good, amazing results within, I want to say within like a week, like it was quick, right? So anyway, questions about this, questions about poop. Anyone else like have misinformation coming on this? Like what's going on? I said that word again. They're probably going to cut me off. Let's talk poop. Let's talk poop. I'm also taking open Q&A questions. Hey, by the way, the Total Energy Turnaround 90-day program starts April 1st. Yay. The cart opens soon. I see all of you on the wait list, and you may have already been reached out to. Angela is reaching out to you guys right now. I mean, like this week and next week. So if you hear from someone named Angela, yes, she comes from me. And yes, it's us reaching out to you because we want to give you first opportunity to join. So it's awesome. I'm so excited. And for those of you that have done it before, I have a couple of you that have done it a couple of times. We're up leveling it again. I'm going to try to incorporate more labs, more supplements, more education on that because that was the feedback. I want to know more about that. So I'm going to put it in there. Okay. So every single time I do it, I add a little bit more content. I make it even more, even easier. So if this is something, if you guys are ready for a reset, I've had a bunch of people reach out to me and say, I'm really ready for a spring reset. Like my body, I need to catch up. Like I'm not getting back on the horse as fast as I was from the holidays. This is a great 90-day program for that. Okay. So hop in, get the program, right? Keep a lookout for it. All the stuff's going to start coming down next week. Like you're going to start seeing stuff. So I can't wait. If you want to be on the wait list to be reached out to specifically before the cart opens, go to thetotalenergyturnaround.com, put yourself on it. Every few days, we're checking to see if there's new additions and reaching out to you. So if this is something you're interested in and you want a little special incentive, then that's it. Right. Okay, let's see. Naya said eating chia seeds and puree pumpkin every day helps me have a movement daily. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do, it's a great, that's a great point because I do think a lot of times we think, oh, let's just take this magic pill to go to the bathroom, right? So we take this magnesium and vitamin C and water, but we're not eating right. We're eating foods that are not removing from the body. So very good. Like the fiber in your diet is really, really important. Chia seeds is a great way to get there. And pureed pumpkin is one of my favorites. I have a recipe. I think it's on my website. It's a pumpkin lasagna. Have you seen that? It's gluten-free, dairy-free, and it's made with pumpkin. And it is so good. I think it's a pumpkin and kale. Yeah, that would be good. Erin. Oh, Erin's sharing her story here. So let's talk about this. Erin says, yes, initially I had to increase magnesium and then add vitamin C and increase vitamin C. This combination helps me significantly with bloating and I experienced weight loss. Yeah, you were holding so much in there, huh? So yeah, yum, right? Okay, so those are my announcements. This is my little thing. Let's see, I had a couple little things. Let's see. When I get watery stool, it's hard to empty fully. Yeah, and the question is, why is it watery? Right. So we look on the other end. We'll have to have another conversation about the opposite end of this. But I'll tell you, when I have new patients that come to me, a lot of times they don't put in their intake paperwork that they have constipation or that they have trouble with bowel movements. But when I ask, I'm like, how often do you go? Oh, every couple days, yeah, it's normal. It's fine. I don't think people recognize that you really do have to go to the bathroom every day. Now, granted, sometimes you're traveling or sometimes during your cycle, you might have 1 day or 2 days where maybe you don't go per month and you catch up the next day though, right? Like if you happen to skip a day, typically you should be catching up the next day. Like you'll go a couple times or it'll be significantly larger. I mean, it's also the question is you may go every day, but how big is it, right? How full is it? How much did you eat the day before and how much are you eliminating? That's something else to kind of look at, right? So, part of the thing that I find is that people are going, but they're not going enough. It's just, they're not eliminating and they're having stomach issues because of it or bloating or weight gain and all of this. Like if your input should be your outputs, and all of you parents out there, I just encourage you to think, if this was my infant, would I be concerned? Right. I remember when my first son started, he wasn't constipated per se, but his stools were very hard and I was concerned about it. Right. First time it happened, I was like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Why isn't he going to the bathroom normally, right? But yet as adults, we tend to just dismiss it. And I don't understand that. It's not healthy, right? When I started this process with magnesium and vitamin C, it went several times a day. It was unreal. Yeah. Right? How to get the watery feeling in intestines less. I hear swishing and I get so gassy when I don't empty fully. Yeah, there's some things you got to look at there. I would do comprehensive stool testing. I would find out, is there an overgrowth in there? What's going on, right? Now, the other thing to bulk things up, you would look more at fiber, at adding fiber to the diet, like chia seeds, flax seeds. You could do a fiber powder. I'm not a huge fan of psyllium, which is like what's in Metamucil. First of all, Metamucil is crap. It has all sorts of other stuff in it, but I really prefer using like a whole fiber, like a apple pectin or chia or flax or something to that effect, to see if you can get it to bind up. The question would be, why are they so loose? What's going on? Is there a parasite in there? Is there an overgrowth of bacteria? Is the digestion? Are you not? Is there problems in the pancreatic enzymes and the gallbladder that we're not breaking things down well? Is the liver not working like it should? Like, we'd want to look at, why are you not forming? Just the same as if, why are you not eliminating? The question is, why are you not forming, right? So you really have to look at, no, it's loose because of magnesium oxide. Yeah, don't take magnesium oxide. So, okay, magnesium oxide is a laxative. It will literally just push it out. We want to go to the bathroom. We want, like, magnesium oxide, you get nothing from the magnesium. So what happens is you're not getting a nutritional aspect of the magnesium either. So you become dependent on it, and it causes watery diarrhea. Yeah. Magnesium glycinate. Okay. And you take it, my protocol will be sent with it, but you essentially take it until your stools get loose, and then you back off slightly. Okay. Magnesium glycinate acts very different than magnesium oxide. Very different. Magnesium oxide is pointless. I'll be honest. You're not getting anything out of it. What I like about magnesium glycinate is that your actual magnesium levels nutritionally go up over time, which means the requirement of the magnesium goes down lower as you get better. As you become more nutritionally sound, you need less supplement. Isn't that the point? Yeah. So if they're making it watery, it's not the right option for you. Okay. That is just simply a laxative. And that's not what we're trying to actually fix the problem. We're trying to fix one of the nutritional deficiencies, bring that deficiency back up. And we're trying to get the bowels to start kicking in and moving the way that they're supposed to. Yeah. Thoughts on Seed brand probiotic, worth the money? They claim it helps with constipation. I don't have any affiliation with Seed brand, and so I haven't used their probiotic specifically. But I believe it's a spore-based probiotic, right? So I use spore-based probiotics more for people who have intestinal bowel disease of some sort. I typically use my Total probiotic, which is not a spore-based, but is a shelf-stable bifido and lactobacillus blend grown on an apricot base for general wellness. So it kind of depends on what we need. Will it help constipation? It depends. It depends on your bacterial flora. I find every probiotic pretty much can help constipation, not so much that it has to be that brand or that it has to be a spore-based. It's just the way that it's released into the gut. It's just a different preparation on how the bug is delivered, right? So as long as you're getting the utilization of the bug, to me, sometimes I find people with more intestinal bowel disease do better with the spore-based ones over the live ones, although they still get benefit from both, or not live, but non-spore-based. So here's what I say with that. Try a bottle of one, try a bottle of my Total probiotic, try a bottle of the Seed, see which one works better for you, and use that one, right? Sometimes you do just have to experiment. Sometimes it's like, oh, I've got all these brands. All of them are good. They are all good. It's just which one's good for you, right? So, if you try one and your body is not responding to it favorably, then try a different one, but you still need them. It doesn't mean that all probiotics won't work if one doesn't have the desired effect for you, okay? Magnesium glycinate doesn't work for you. Interesting. Like I said, there might be more there. More to consider. A little bit earlier when I was talking about, there's more involved here then. It's not just that. So it's important to look at everything, the entire digestive process. Yeah. So if you're really having trouble, if you've tried this constipation protocol of mine and it's not working, then I would go to comprehensive stool testing. What's going on? What's growing in there? Right. I do have an option for you guys to do that. I need to post that on my website. It doesn't go through me in that I don't review it. But you can at least get the data, and that has really, really good explanations to kind of help you get started and gives you some suggestions and things like that. Okay, what do you think of taking bitters or apple cider vinegar before meals? I think it's great. Yeah, I think it helps stimulate the digestion, helps get things moving. When I have stomach aches, because I still occasionally will get stomach aches, I take bitters beforehand. And I do apple cider vinegar all the time. And apple cider vinegar will always take my stomach ache away. Now, if that's the case with you, what do you think that means? It means you're low in stomach acid. So when you add the acid, you feel better, right? So I historically had low stomach acid, which might have been why I was constipated in the first place, but I also was not a good water drinker. So when I look back, it's always like when you go back to your child, you're like, oh, like I never drink water. I hardly ever remember drinking water. And I probably didn't have good stomach acid, you know? So now that it's gotten better, I don't have to take stomach acid anymore. I used to have to for many, many years while I was healing up my gut. I had maybe 10 years, 8 years, I think it was. I had to take stomach acid and digestive enzymes before I ate. I haven't had to take those for 2 years now, which is great. But if I'm traveling or like, let's say I get a meal that maybe isn't what I made, if I start to feel a little full or like I just don't feel well, I just take a shot of apple cider vinegar and it goes away. So that's because that's my issue, low stomach acid. So figuring out why something's happening is a really important thing. Thoughts on omega-3 or black seed oil for constipation? Same thing. Those are omega fats. So they can help with the passage, making it smoother. Is there a test for stomach acid? You know what? Go to my website, type in apple cider vinegar. I think I have my protocol there for seeing if you have low stomach acid or not. There's also that I also might be in the article on GERD, GERD. That's in there. Okay, I see some over on Facebook. Dr. Pingle, what do you think of a colonoscopy? I need to be cleaned out, but I don't want to drink all the Gatorade and Powerade. I don't want all that sugar. Yeah, I don't like, so here's the thing. I don't like the protocol prior to the colonoscopy. It really drives me nuts because it is just crap. And you're putting a ton of crap in your body. And a lot of us can't tolerate that, especially when you're really healthy too. There's no way I'd be able to tolerate that drink. Like no way, I would throw it up without a doubt. I did have a colon hydrotherapist once that said she had a protocol where you'd go get a colonic, I can't remember what it was, if it was daily for 2 days ahead of time or something, but she had a protocol where she could clear people out for colonoscopy and it worked. So I think there are other ways to do it. It's just having a GI doctor that's willing to work with you on that. A lot of people have allergies to that drink. I personally haven't had the fortunate experience of having a colonoscopy yet, but there is absolutely no way I will drink that. So they will have to come up with another option for me. I was prescribed pills for the prep next week. Okay, well, that's good. Doctor, I have a lot of stomach acid. How do you know that? How do you know you have a lot of stomach acid? Because if you say heartburn, that's not true. Most heartburn is low stomach acid. So I want to know, did they do a test and found high stomach acid, clinically, or you just been assumed to have high stomach acid? Can you recommend a digestive enzyme? Yeah, I don't think you can order them without me though. Tara, if you email me, I can give you access to a system where you can order these, but Orthomolecular makes one called, if you want one with stomach acid, called Orthodigestime that I really like. But if you need other ones that have acid in them, I think Priority One also makes one. I can't remember the name of it though. Pure Encapsulations makes some pretty good digestive enzymes as well, and that's pretty readily available. They have a chewable. So when you look at a digestive enzyme, it should have all of the enzymes needed from the pancreas and the gallbladder to digest food. And then if you see the addition of HCl, that means it also has acid added, right? But you could also do apple cider vinegar to supplement that, the acid part. I always worry about colonic putting in bacteria. Um, well, you flush it back out, right? So you're putting water in to flush it back out. So it's like cleaning like if I were to go and clean this straw, right? Put water down in it and then it comes out the other side, right? So with a colonic, you're putting water in to flush it back out. So I don't worry about that. But then again, I mean, you want to go to somebody who's actually, cleans their instruments and all of that. There have been a lot of cases of what was the bug? Recently with colonoscopies, with people getting secondary infections. I've had a couple patients who have had secondary infections from getting a colonoscopy in the hospital. I've never in my history of working as a doctor have I had any of my patients ever get a secondary infection from a colonic. So, but I have had them get it from a colonoscopy. So, do you think lactose-free Greek yogurt may cause further constipation? Yes, they do. The dairy. Did I tell you one of my main things to get me to go to the bathroom again was to actually also eliminate dairy? I did that as well. I have low ferritin. Could iron infusion help me be less constipated? Well, okay, this might cross the line of how much medical advice I can give over. So I have to be careful here. If you have low ferritin, it is advised that you supplement iron. However, many irons will constipate you. So you want to use one that is non-constipating, which means you want to use one. I like the plant-based ones. So like Garden of Life iron. I like raw iron. Don't go to Walgreens and get the iron sulfate. You will be more constipated. So that's number one. Number two, you're asking if you had better iron levels, would you be less constipated? I don't know. Why are you constipated? Are you constipated because the iron levels are low, or because magnesium's low, or because digestive enzymes aren't working, or because there's an inflammatory process, or because of your diet, right? So any supplement that is recommended when it comes to me, it has to be addressing a particular cause. I don't use supplements to treat symptoms. Does that make sense? I don't use supplements to treat symptoms because that's the same as using a drug to treat a symptom. I use supplements to correct the root cause that causes the symptom. So it's hard for me to say whether that would work for you or not because I don't know why it's happening. Yeah. How do we know if the GI issues, acid reflux on and off, is related to too much or too little acid in the stomach? Definitely check my article, GERD, GERD. Also, we talk about this in the Total Energy Turnaround program as well. Like we will address gut issues a lot. So yeah, I mean, most of it is low stomach acid. It's because when you eat, you're supposed to release acid to, move stuff through the stomach. And we don't. So it sits here and it pushes back up on our esophagus and causes burning, and it causes other problems as well. So if you also have bloating, constipation, weight gain, feeling fatigued, whatever, it's very likely it's a poor digestive issue that's causing the reflux, and not just that you just miraculously your stomach makes tons of acid. There's only a couple of reasons why your stomach would make too much acid. And they're pretty rare. It's not like we just wake up and make too much acid. That's not the way this works. And so the doctors say, oh, well, just reduce acid reducing foods. I actually have this coming up, I think, in one of my reels this month. It's like talking about removing foods. It's a fun one, one of my fun reels about throwing things away or something. And it's all about these recommendations that were given to treat GERD. Oh, well, just don't eat spicy food. You'll be fine. That has nothing to do with it. If anything, spicy food should actually help the process because it will help the digestion, right? So if you have a hiatal hernia, which is basically the stomach is protruding out through a hole that's pushing on the stomach, that can cause GERD that's not related to low stomach acid. And if you have some sort of tumor that's releasing tons of stomach acid, that can cause high stomach acid. For the most part, it's that you don't have enough, or you don't have enough enzymes in the digestion to break the food down. Why do we get that way? Do you guys want to take a guess? Our adrenals. Stress. Whether that's stress because you don't go to the bathroom, whether that's stress because you have a thyroid issue, whether that's stress because you're going through something in your life, whether that's stress from toxins, regardless what the stress is, scrolling social media, because that's stress too. We talk about this in the masterclass coming up, so definitely join it. It's free. uh, that slows digestion because when you're in the woods running from a bear under stress, you don't stop to poop. You don't stop to digest your food. You don't stop to bring in nutrition. You don't. You run, right? So nothing happens. Your body doesn't get any better. It doesn't repair. It doesn't heal. It doesn't sleep, right? And that causes more stress on the body, which then perpetuates the problem even more. So you have to address the adrenals when you're looking at stomach issues, and you have to address the digestion and the nutrition. Does that make sense? With me? With me. Your ferritin is 6. Yeah, you need a good workup. Any type of fiber, even spinach, makes me more constipated. When I keep it simple, I'm so much better. Yeah. Stress, yes. I like it. Is there a supplement to keep your body in rest and digest? Once again, I can teach all of you how to be in rest and digest. Is it a supplement? Is it like take this pill and I'll calm you down? No. No, of course not. Here's a little analogy. Can I I'm breaking up? Oh, that's weird. Here's a little analogy. Let's say that you want to save up for retirement. How many of you have a savings account or a retirement account, or you're worried about retirement, right? Or you've already done it and now you're living off your retirement fund, right? We all think about, or insurance, let's say life insurance or car insurance or whatever. We're putting aside money every single month for an end goal. That's rewarding, right? So what if we thought about our health that way? What if every day you just put $20 in your savings account, right? How long would it take before you had enough money to do something with? Our health is exactly the same way. You can't just borrow money from someone and expect to have a retirement fund. It's just borrowing money, right? So when we look for a pill to fix something, it's just buying time. It's not giving us a solution. It's not putting anything in our health bank. So fast forward to our retirement age, and we are in pain. We're tired. We're overweight. We can't do the things we want, right? So health is not about putting 100,000 in your savings account at once. It's not about doing everything perfect. It's about every day making a conscious choice to do something, to put something in the bank, making a wise choice to work on your digestion or to eat the right thing or to figure something out, right? When people say, well, it's expensive to go to a naturopath or it's expensive to work with people like you. Is it? Because in the long run, you're not going to have all the medical bills that you would be gaining if you didn't, right? Because you're proactively making small changes over time to benefit you in the end so you can live a nice retirement. Does that make sense? So I try to look at health in that way. So especially when it comes to stress reduction, you can't get rid of the stress around you. It's always there, but you can learn how to not interpret it as stress. And when you learn that, it's putting a lot in your bank, a lot. And learning how to do that is really, really important. It's actually being very proactive in your health. It's putting more than just $25 in your bank every day. It's definitely setting you up to be healthier in the future, right? So for me, when I'm 90, I want to be going to Disneyland with my great grandkids. I want to be riding roller coasters. I don't want to be sitting in a chair, right? So for me, it's really important for me to invest in myself now because it's harder. For those of you that didn't save as much as you wanted, you get to retirement, you're like, man, I really wanted to go to Europe, but I guess I'll have to call that off. Like I didn't save enough, right? I don't want to be in that position. So think about when you're looking at your health and you're looking at the issues, sometimes it's real easy to get caught up in like what's going on right now and how do we fix it right now? What I would encourage you to do is back up a little bit and be like, okay, what are my 30-day goals? What are my 90-day goals? What are my year goals? What are my 5-year goals? And what do I have to do in order to accomplish all those? Because sometimes the thing we have to do for our 30-day goals actually harms our 5-year goals, right? Taking certain medications, so sometimes we have to look at it as a whole picture and be like, all right, every decision I make, how does that impact my 5-year goal, my 10-year goal? Where do I want to be when I'm 80, right? Where do I want to be when I'm 60? Where do I want to be when I'm 40? Wherever you are, right? If you move forward, where do you want to be? And what changes can you make now that are always going to be feeding that bank and then help you get through this moment in the meantime? Sometimes that is using medication, but when you know the clear goal of it, it's different, right? So learning how to lower that running from a bear is a skill that I can teach you. Maybe look at my program. Look at my program coming up. That's what we do, right? And we support each other in it because it's not easy, right? It's an investment in your health. Exactly. It is an investment, right? With pretty awesome return, right? Let's see. So as far as there's a supplement to keep your body in rest and digest, it's right here. Here it is. Now you got to train it because you've trained it to run from a bear. Now you got to train it to not run from the bear, right? And so many health issues will fall off when you do that, by the way, right? I had really low iron as well, clearly, Lex, really low because I didn't have stomach acid. And the stomach acid is required to absorb iron. So you could take iron all day long. If you don't have enough stomach acid, you won't absorb it, right? And then once my gut was healed, now my iron levels are normal and I don't have to supplement anymore. So I'm not on supplements forever, right? I love this explanation. I love it. Breathing, yes. Are there any alternatives to pap smears? Like, I don't. The pap smear as it is what it is, right? So I can't think of anything other than that. I mean, if you want to look at the cells of the cervix, you have to scrape it, right? I can't think of any other way to look at the cells of the cervix other than a pap smear. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't think of anything right now. Last question. Sorry, it's fine. Is there a time of day you should take magnesium? Will taking it too early make you tired and sluggish? Yeah, it can because it's a relaxant. I like to take it at night for a couple of reasons. One, it helps me relax and go to sleep. Two, it helps with restless leg syndrome. And three, it helps me have a bowel movement first thing in the morning. So I like it at night. There's no rule of thumb on it though. What about gum? I need it after meals. I have a lot of gum. Is this bad? Why do you need it after meals? It sounds like you need a really good digestive workup, hon. That's what it sounds like. Like someone needs to go in there, a functional medicine doctor, a naturopath doctor needs to go in there and really work up the gut for you. Because there's a lot of red flags there that the gut is not happy. And that's fixable. It is. You just have to find the problem and find the right person to help you solve it. Right? Have you seen Dr. Isabella Wentz? Oh, yeah, I know Isabella. Talking about magnesium glycinate. I haven't. And her theory on issues with methylation on that one, I'm getting anxiety from magnesium glycinate. Is she saying because it requires methylation? I haven't. I'll have to go back and watch hers. But I will say that I have MTHFR mutations, so I don't methylate well. But because I supplement the metatetrahydrofolate and the B vitamins, and in my liver support, I'm supplementing methionine and things like that. I don't have any issues with magnesium glycinate. But then again, if I had a backup in that pathway, I could see how that might cause a problem. So I would think it goes back to the root again. Like maybe what she's saying is you need to make sure you address the methylation issues first. And that I could understand. But yeah. I think it comes down to, once again, health is a holistic thing. There's never a magic pill for anything, right? So to say magnesium glycinate would work for everyone, it doesn't. There's also other forms of magnesium that can help too. Magnesium threonate, magnesium orotate would be the other two I would look at. I would not use magnesium oxide, magnesium sulfate, and I very rarely will use a citrate. Well, I'm guessing maybe because of the glycine portion of you're saying maybe because glycinate is very processed. I'm thinking maybe it's because of the glycine in it and those particular neurotransmitter pathways that are impacted by methylation issues. Like, for example, you don't make serotonin well if you can't methylate, right? So you have a lot of problems in those pathways. So anytime that the neurotransmitters are off whack, and you throw something in there that can act as in the neurotransmitter pathway, you could have problems if you're not methylating well. I think that goes for really anything. I think you always have to address the methylation issues because that's usually why the problem happened in the first place. Does that make sense? I'll have to go back and watch because I'm speaking blindly. So I'm honest, I haven't seen her talk about it. I'm just thinking kind of like what she would have been thinking. And I don't doubt what she would say either. I just wonder if maybe there's a lot to the story there on methylation. I think the idea, I guess maybe my point is, I think the idea is that just because you have methylation issues from that mutation does not mean that you can't take something that requires methylation. You can, you just have to fix the methylation pathway first, right? You have to accommodate for that, if that makes sense. Could someone be constipated due to methylation issues? Of course. Of course. Absolutely. We have to methylate to remove toxin, you know? Um, so yeah. All right. So anyway, oh my gosh, it's already 10 o'clock. Where did that go? You know, if you have MTHFR mutation, should you continually take the vitamins B12 or only periodically? That's it depends. It depends. I continually take, I usually keep my supplements on or my patients on some sort of supplementation for it, but the level at which they have to take and the order at which they have to take it changes over the course of what their body does in response. So it changes. Okay. Can a primary doctor test you for the MTHFR mutation? Sure, they can. All they have to do is order it. The question is, will they? Sure, they can. Okay, so a couple things. If you missed the beginning, I have a masterclass next week that's free. You guys should all watch it. I will be advertising it on social media channels. I will also be putting it in my link in bio. I will also be sending it out through email. It'll be live, I think, Tuesday through Sunday. And then we start opening the cart for the Total Energy Turnaround Program. It's a 90-day program. It will help you reset. We talk about all this types of stuff. You have live Q&As with me. We have stuff we can modify, we can learn, we can grow, we can get you reset, we can get you figuring out what your body's trying to say so that you can go to your doctor and actually do something about it. That is what I find to be one of the most benefits, not to mention the community is freaking amazing. Having all of us in there together, supporting each other on whatever we're going through and seeing how many people are actually impacted by stress and what we can actually do to change it. I would love to see every single one of you in there. TheTotalEnergyTurnaround.com is the website. Make sure you put the Total Energy Turnaround. Right now it's a wait list, but if you plop yourself on it, you'll get a special call. And otherwise you can wait till the cart opens. How big are the groups? I do limit them. They've ranged anywhere from 10 people to 20 people so far on average. I usually won't take many more than that per round, just because it's too much. Then people can't ask questions. So I want it to, I like the smaller groups. They're great. And you can pre-submit questions for live Q&A calls so that you get priority. There's I have a Facebook group where you can ask questions every single day and I pop in there and answer. So yeah, there's a lot of support. Okay. All right. You guys have been great. Hey, next Friday, I will be here. Actually, it's the Friday after I'll be in Disneyland. So I will be here next Friday. Yes. So we will definitely be here to answer more questions. And you guys have been great today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm off. My husband turns 50 today. Happy birthday, Tyler. So I'm going to go make a really nice cake and dinner and, have a little fun this weekend. So that'll be fun. So anyway, you guys have a great day. See you soon. All my resources are at drpingle.com. Take care now.